This is November, December 9, Tango, ND9, Tim, over.
Roger, Tango, and what's the name there?
Roger, Tango, and what's the name there? The name is Tim, Tango, test 1, 2.
Controlled circuit, please. This is controlled net. Speaking with ND9T, Tim. And Tim, where are you? What's your location, sir?
Tim. And Tim, where are you? What's your location, sir? The Indiana, over.
Tim, I had quite a bit of garbage coming off an adjacent frequency. I don't know why somebody's transmitting 1K off this frequency. We've been here for almost an hour, so, wonders never cease. But what's your location, Tim?
Almost an hour, so, wonders never cease. But what's your location, Tim? UTH is Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne in northeast Indiana, over.
Roger, Fort Wayne. And Tim, what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, Fort Wayne. And Tim, what radio are you running, sir? Running an ICOM 756 PRO-3 at about 80 watts out, over.
Roger. Now, Tim, just let me ask you, why are you running 80 watts out?
Now, Tim, just let me ask you, why are you running 80 watts out? That's what I can get with the antenna tuner. I have a Delta loop antenna with a LVG electronics tuner, and with the SWR, that's all I can get out, over.
Yes, sir. Okay, let me give you a suggestion to increase your efficiency of antenna. If you ever get a chance, put yourself up a dipole antenna, but not just a dipole antenna. Put yourself up a resonant dipole antenna. Make a note of that. Resonant dipole antenna, and you will bust your frequency response, as far as radiation, probably about 3 times more than you can on that wire that you're running now. So, I would suggest, if you really wanted to, get yourself an AB switch and then put up that resonant dipole antenna and switch back and forth between the dipole and the antenna you're running now. And I think you'll just love that dipole, Roger.
You're running now, and I think you'll just love that dipole, Roger. Roger. Well, I may do that. The winter is not a good time for me to work on antennas, but I'll give that a try. I'm in a very restricted location because of my homeowners association, so I just have a moderate antenna, but a dipole would certainly fit the bill. How does the audio sound, over?
We'll get to that if you got just a minute. What I want to tell you about that dipole antenna is a number 22 wire is almost unpredictable as far as being able to see it up in the sky. Number 22, it's a very small wire, but you can use that. And remember this, the smaller diameter of the element that you're radiating with, the higher the Q. And the higher the Q, the higher the ERP. So, this number 22 gauge wire is very thin, but the thing is, it has very good radiation capabilities. Roger?
The thing is, it has very good radiation capabilities. Roger? Roger, understand, over.
Yes, sir. Okay, now on your radio there, first thing would be to be sure that you're in that wide transmit bandpass, wide transmit bandwidth of 100 to 2900, Roger. And if you're not familiar with that, just make a note of that, Roger.
900, Roger. And if you're not familiar with that, just make a note of that, Roger. Roger, I'm not. I'm just getting used to this radio. I've had it for several months and haven't exercised it very much. So I've been listening to you just a little bit about the ALC, so I've adjusted my mic gain at about the midpoint, and the ALC seems to be hitting kind of hard.
Roger. So our setup starts with you engaging your compression at a 3. It's a 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Just a 3 on your compressor engaged, and it's nothing that you'll ever hear on the air, but it helps get us to that 3 dB dynamic range at the end of the setup. So compression on at a 3 as far as beginning the setup.
End of the setup. compression on at a 3 as far as beginning the setup. Roger, I'll lower the mic gain, try to get the compression down a little bit over.
Okay, you do not have a compression input control?
Okay, you do not have a compression input control? No, I do. I do have a compression input. I'll lower that a little bit as well. How is it sounding now? Over.
All right, we don't want to do a bit and a bit, you know. Just listen to what I'm telling you. Put that compression on at a 3, or a 3 out of 10, or a 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor is labeled. 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Compression on, Roger?
It's labeled 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Compression on, Roger? Roger, Roger. Compression is on at 3, over.
Yes, sir. Now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, elongate the front. Don't stress it. Just say it like you would normally say any other word in a QSO. Adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger? Roger. So, I adjusted the compression. I can't seem to get any change at all in the meter with the compression. And the ALC peaks at from 0 to mid-range, and I'm hitting. Seems like I may be hitting that kind of hard. How does it sound?
Okay, listen to what I'm saying now. Your compression is on at a 3. And then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, the word is audio, you become a human signal generator. Adjust your mic gain until you're reading 2/3 on your ALC meter. That's the way to do it, sir.
You're reading 2/3 on your ALC meter. That's the way to do it, sir. All right, I'll give this a try. I'll read back down a little bit with audio on. And I'm setting it at about 2/3 of the range. Audio.
Excellent. Now, just really quick, check your frequency control. We're on 7188.00, 7.18800. Roger, just to double check that.
7.18800. Roger, just to double check that. Right, I was about 32 hertz high. I was just a little bit high, so I'm down to 7.188.0.
Yes, sir, you sound a lot better. There's nothing like being precisely on the frequency. You know, radios are so precise today that when you're not dead on that, you know, you're sounding a little strange there. And so you always try to, you know, to be on the frequency. And the other thing is, you probably have something called lock, LOCK on your radio. And I usually, rule of thumb, if I'm on a frequency more than 30 seconds, I'll hit lock so I don't accidentally hit my VFO and wind up in somebody else's front yard. Roger?
I accidentally hit my VFO and wind up in somebody else's front yard. Roger? Roger, Roger. I understand that. All right, well, I need to play a little bit with my radio, become more familiar with it. And I hope it improves the sound. Say into this range, I hope it improves the sound of the audio.
Yes, sir. Now, I would like to go to your EQ page. If you've got just a moment, go to your EQ or take a note, probably. Note to self, want to crank in a couple of clicks additional treble EQ from where you are, plus 2 clicks treble EQ boost from where you are. Make a note of that, and that'll get you a little more clarity. Roger?
Make a note of that, and that'll get you a little more clarity. Roger? Roger, Roger. I'll have to research the manual on how to do that. Over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, do that at your leisure. Just make that note and then crank in that 2 clicks additional treble EQ, and that'll give you a little more articulation, a little more brightness, and that will help you when you're in a big pileup or when you have a lot of QRM. You'll be able to punch through, and people will be able to hear you, but not only hear you, they'll be able to understand the words that you're saying, which is, you know, that's the main thing, Roger.
Understand the words that you're saying, which is, you know, that's the main thing. Roger? Roger, Roger. Well, I appreciate the tip. I'm always interested in making improvements to the station, and I think this will help. I really appreciate the input. Over.
Yes, sir. And really think about that resonant dipole antenna, putting that up with number 22 wire or something that you can't see from the road, and so you can run that dipole and you're not going to have to worry about, folks going crazy because you've got an antenna, because they won't be able to see a number 22. Roger, Roger.
Because they won't be able to see a number 22. Roger, Roger. Roger, Roger. Well, again, I'll have to wait till the weather improves a little bit. We're about 4 below zero right now and 30-mile-an-hour winds, so it's a little tough for antenna work today, but I will put that on my list for the spring. Over.
Yes, sir, Tim. Well, you know what they say, you can't work on antennas until it's at least 0 degrees outside. I mean, you really have to have 0 degrees to be able to work on antennas outside. That's a amateur radio given there. At least I've always found I have to go up and work on my antenna when it's the coldest. 73, Tim. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, Merry Christmas. If you want to hear your audio, go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording. I'll have it uploaded by tomorrow at noon. It will be cut number 1 in a series of 2,400 Qso-Vlog air check recordings. 73, Tim. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.